After completion of our graduation, we always think now what is next. We all selected life science during our school period with the dreams that we can become doctor, nurse, scientist, or we can say school teacher. But few of us get the opportunity to fulfill our dreams. So those who are thinking, do we have limited career opportunity? Please do not worry about it, because I am going to discuss about the various opportunities where we all can grow and fulfill our dreams. So hello everyone, my name is Sudeep Chakravarti and I am going to introduce a series of videos which will not only help you to understand what are the various sectors where you can apply, but also that will help you to understand that how you will grow, and that is very much similar to your dreams, like a job of doctor, what researchers are doing, what scientists are doing. You can get the opportunity to explore in a various uh, sectors. Uh, you will have the opportunity to understand the various experimental methods. So our first topic will be is about clinical research. So you have heard it right. Clinical research sector is a very much blooming globally. So it is very much respected job and you can apply, especially the persons who have completed graduation. It is a healthcare industry, and who have completed graduation, post graduation in life science like microbiology, biotechnology, botany, physiology and zoology, and also B Pharma, M Pharma, D Pharma. So all candidates are applicable for this job, and they are, as per my experience and knowledge, they are doing very best in this domain. So let's start with this session. So first I will going to discuss about what is clinical research. So in layman's language, it is an experiment of a new drug on human beings to check if this new drug designed by scientists are safe and effective. So guys, just think about it, that when a new drug is discovered by scientists, so suppose you're having fever and you are taking paracetamol. So did you ever imagine that, yeah, how it come, how it was discovered? So does scientist or does God just snapped a finger and it was produced, or like that? Or how it was, what is the method, or what is the cycle about it? So this medicine first is discovered from a molecule, and after that, whether this paracetamol is effective for fever or not, a clinical trial or clinical research is conducted. So I will discuss all the details in the next part of this slide. So in a structured manner, we can say that clinical research or clinical trial is a process to evaluate the safety, effectiveness of the newly invented drug. Why clinical research? As I discussed earlier, that the main purpose of the clinical trial is to introduce the new drug which is safe to use and effective for the particular disease in the global market. So the next question comes, clinical trials are conducted on what products? So it is mainly conducted on the health products, or we can say on the drugs. So let me give an introduction about the products on which the trials are conducted. So in this introduction, we will discuss that the clinical trials are conducted on a new drug, but it is not limited to the medicines or drugs. In the real time, clinical trials are conducted on the products, that is from toothbrush to pacemaker. Yes, you have heard correct. It is conducted on toothbrush. Even when a new brush is manufactured, it goes through the clinical trial. So mainly clinical trials are also conducted on drugs, medical devices and biologics. So medical devices, as I have said earlier, that pacemaker and stents, Diabetes machines, you have heard about, you have seen the advertises on AccuCheck or various glucometers or ECG machines. These are also known as medical devices. Now we will understand who are the authorized person or who are the authorized people to give permission for clinical trials. So any clinical trials which is conducted in a particular region or country, they must have the permission from the government to be conducted. So this governing body is called as regulatory agency or authority. So the main responsibility of this agency is enforce regulation regarding occupational health and safety in a particular region. So based on this description, let me give you an example. Suppose you are from India and there are various departments who is taking care of various sectors. Like for road, there is a roadways department, and for the administrative or the police or the laws, to maintain the laws, there is a home ministry. Just like that, to check, to review the health sector and to check the medicines, or if anything is coming to the market or this is produced in the market. So for the observation of all these activities, there is a particular department which is known as regulatory agency. So we will go to the next topic. So how many regulatory agencies are there in every country? They have their own regulatory agencies. However, some of the famous regulatory agencies are mentioned as Food and Drug Administration. So Food and Drug Administration, you have heard about it, that it is a famous regulatory authority from USA. And just like FDA, there are various regulatory agencies, and I would like to explain that each regulatory, as it is a part of government or governing body, it is part of each and every country. So every country or continent should have their own regulatory authority. So for USA, we have Food and Drug Administration. For UK, we have Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, which is known as MHRA. For Australia, we have Therapeutic Goods Administration. And for India, we have Central Drug Standard Control Organization, which is also known as RISCO. For Europe, we have European Medicines Agency, EMEA. For Canada, we have Health Canada. And for Japan, we have Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. So the main concern arises that who participates or who are the stakeholders of clinical trials. So there are various stakeholders who take participation in the clinical trials, or who take the responsibility, or who are delegated to participate in the clinical trial. So we will start first with the sponsor. So the sponsor are the people who are mainly financing the trial, who take the management and initiation of the trial. So I will discuss about each and every stakeholders in detail. So first we need to understand who are the stakeholders. So sponsors, clinical research organization or CRO, investigator, ethics committee, regulatory authority and patient. So I will tell you in details that what are the roles and responsibility of each and every stakeholder. So the sponsor, they take the responsibility of financing, initiation and management of the clinical trial. CRO or clinical research organization, they are hired by the sponsor to manage one or more sponsored trials related duties. Investigator or doctors, they take the responsibility to conduct this trial in a particular site. Ethics committee. The main responsibility of the ethics committee is to ensure they represent the subjects or patients. So The role of the ethics committee is to ensure the protection of the rights and well-being of the patients who are participating in the clinical trial. And last but not the least, patients. So they participate in the trial and they are also known as the study subjects. So they are the main stakeholder who takes the newly invented drug, and based on their data, each and every stakeholder mm, give the uh, provide the data the particular and they look and monitor if their data is correct or not, or if the drug is safe to use or not. Now, last but not the least, phases of clinical trials. So there are four phases of clinical trial. So you will in various information in various sectors or in various documents you will know about there are four phases, there are five phases, but I have mentioned here only four phases. The first phase, if we mention the five phases, so the first phase is known as phase 0. So I am not covering that in this topic. Just to make your concept clear, always remember the four phases of clinical trial. So the what is phase 1? So what do we check in the phase 1? So in phase 1 we check the safety and the best dosage level are determined. So in this case 1 to 2 dozen participants, that means 12 to 24 subjects are enrolled for phase 1, and in this phase 1 healthy subjects are identified and they trust the drugs from that particular trial to check whether the drug is safe to use or not. Now we will discuss about phase 2 trial. So in phase 2 trial we understand the response to the new treatment is recognized and analyzed. So when a drug is introduced in the subject or in a patient, so what are the data that is collected, what are the how the patient feels, and what kind of various laboratory results, ECG results are there, and doctors or investigators analyze them and record them in a particular database. Now we will discuss about phase 3 trial. So in phase 3 trial, results are studied, may include placebo, submit to regulatory agency for approval. So in this case, in phase 2 trial, sorry I forgot to discuss, in phase 2 trial, where in phase 1 trial we have seen that 12 to 24 subjects are participated, but in phase 2 trial there are less than 100 subjects are taken. There can be 50 or 80 subjects. Similarly, in phase 3 trial, there are more than hundreds of subjects, and the subject who have the particular symptoms or disease for which the clinical trial is conducted. So let me take an example. So you are suffering from fever, and you have there is a new drug which is for which clinical trial will be conducted, and for that and the drug is for fever. So there are more than 100 participants who are suffering from fever. They will be introduced in the phase 3 trial, and here they may be the dose or the drug will be given them, and if the all the data is good, and if all the records are analyzed and based on the records and data which is submitted to the agency or the regulatory agency, and they see that the result the drug is safe to use and it is effective, your fever disappears. So that means the drug is authentic and it can be approved for marketing. So after the phase 3 trial, the phase 4 trial comes. So the phase 4 trial is also known as post approval. So this is the treatment is marketed. That means after the drug is approved by regulatory agency, it is marketed. That means you can go to the shop and buy the particular drug if you having any fever. And in this situation, thousands of people involved. Like suppose if the drug is marketed, it is it is sold to various shop, and from various shop it is sold to various people who are having fever. So the main agenda of the topic was to cover the clinical trial. So I hope this video help you to understand. I discussed all the topics, and it is uh, more than enough to make your concept clear about the clinical trial. Thank you so much for participating and reviewing my slide. So, before ending this session, we will discuss the summary of the clinical research. So, a clinical study involves research using human volunteers, also called as participants, who are also known as subjects or patients, that is intended to add to medical knowledge. There are two main types of clinical studies: clinical trials, also called interventional studies, and observational studies. So in our next video, we will discuss in details about interventional and observational studies. Now, the next point is ensure complete safety of the volunteers. So volunteers who have participated in the trial to ensure the drug is safely used. And the last point is all the trials are thoroughly monitored and regulated. That means each and every stakeholder, from sponsor to investigator to ethics committee, they always review the patient data very thoroughly, because it is a crucial process and it involves the government. That means the approval is all always given after the data is clean. That means that if the drug is not safe to use, and if we can see that the due to this drug the subjects are having side effects, so this can be banned, and it will not be approved by the regulatory agency. So uh, for that purpose, all the clinical trial related data are thoroughly monitored and regulated. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you liked this session. So if you like my video, and I am going to share um, plenty of series about the clinical trials and various processes, what are the various roles and responsibilities. So if you like and subscribe my video, I will be motivated to post more videos